Good evening, friends. This is Sue at Miller's Laboratory, and thank you for joining me for this late edition of 7 Pretty Journals, I think I called it. I did not get a book done this week. I'm so sorry. I had a busy week. My parents both celebrated their 85th birthdays, and we had a party for them on Saturday, and so I did a lot of work for that during the week, and of course I was very busy yesterday with that, and today I just kind of relaxed a little bit, so I didn't get a book done. I have made progress in a couple of them, but so hopefully next week I'll have more to show you. But I'm going to work in this pretty one tonight and just do a couple of things and show you what I'm working on. And so a couple real simple things, and then one that's just a little more complex. So let me just kind of go ahead a little bit here. You can see I've got quite a few things in this book, but this one needs probably the most work of all of them still. What I'm going to do here, and I know you guys have seen this before, but I'm going to make these little pocket journal spots, the 3. I had this pretty image of this little robin, or sorry, little chickadee in some peonies, and I wanted to use it, and it's a smaller image, you know, it's a little bit shorter, so I had an idea to do something just a little different with this one, and otherwise it's the same as what I've showed you. But with this one, instead of this just flipping up one time, it's going to flip up 2 times so that you have a little bit more space to journal under each of those sections. So that's all that's different here. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on, and I'll speed it up for that. Okay, oop. So we can still use these as pockets, tuck something in there. I'm just grabbing a couple little doodads here to stick in. Those aren't really stuck down all the way. So that'll hold the pockets closed, and I'll probably arrange that so you can still see the little birdie's face there. But then, as I said, this one will just open up a bit more to give you a little more room to write. So simple, simple. Okay, another really simple thing here, but kind of cool. I had this spread in the middle of a signature, which is just brown paper, and so I thought it would be nice to have something that covered both of those. I went into my files and I printed out this pretty image of the roses in a basket. I'm going to go ahead and speed my camera up and cut this out. Okay, good deal. I don't know if you were watching, you caught that I tore that a little bit over here, but I fixed it. Okay, now because we have the signature bound in here, I cannot glue this, even if the ends weren't there. I still really wouldn't want to glue it over that string. So what I'm going to do is actually cut this in half down the middle. So to do that, I'm just going to fold it. You could use your paper cutter too if you have that handy. I'm just going to fold it so that I have a nice crease to use as a guideline, and we're going to cut that right down the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to glue it in. I'm going to glue it down the center and here, but I'm going to leave this open so that on each side it can be a little tuck. So that is my plan here. And I'm just going to go as close as I can to that string without catching the string underneath. And you'll notice that what I did here when I put the glue on the bottom is I made it straight across. So the bottom of this basket is curved, but I put my glue straight just so that if I put a tag in there or something, it will stand up straight if I want it to. Otherwise, it'll always go crooked. So again, there is a tiny little gap there if you were to look closely, but no one's gonna see it because the string sits on top of it. So I think that looks really cute. And if I just grab a couple of tags here, these are kind of small, but they'll just tuck in there on either side like that. I think that's quite cute. All right. Oh, now here I found this pretty swan, and I wanted to put this on here and it would be like a tuck spot at the bottom. So I just need to cut this out and then glue it. I mean, easy peasy. Sorry, you guys, just watching me fussy cut here. Here I go, sped up. Now, because of the way this image was painted, the water sort of fades out around the edges. So I think I'm going to tear that just because I think that will look a little bit better than trying to cut it and have a sharp edge there. You can probably hear the floor squeaking. Somebody's walking around upstairs over my head. Sorry about that. We have an old house here. It squeaks a little bit. There. Yeah, very nice. Over here you'll notice there's a little bit of washi tape. This is a kind of a brittle page. And so I might have to put a little bit on this side too. But I just added that down there where to reinforce it a little bit. And this is just a single thickness of paper. It's nothing, you know, it's not cardstock or anything. I know some people would say that you need to use something a little bit thicker than that. I'm not going to put something really thick in there, and I just don't think it's necessary. So I just do one layer, one thickness of paper I think is just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it all the way around the edge of the water, and we'll call it good. And that way we can push something down in there a little bit if we want to. All right, and then let me just grab another tag here to show you. In my stash there, and that will just sit right behind there really nicely. So very good. All right, now the last thing I'm going to show you, maybe just a little bit more complex. So if you stuck with me, you might get something out of this. I had been flipping through this book, and I found I used a page from an art or an antique auction magazine or something. So it has pictures of furniture and things like that. And then it had this painting, and it's just a black and white image of it, but it's a little boy, and it looks to me like he's holding a bird nest. And I thought, oh, that's so cute. I don't want to cover that up. What can I do to kind of highlight that a little bit? And so I thought what I would do is I would create a window in this page so that you see the little boy from here, and then when you turn the page you can see the whole picture and you can see the bird nest. So that was my plan. And so I'm going to show you how I go about lining that up to make that work. So I just found this nice little frame image, very simple, and I went ahead and cut it out on the outside so that it's the middle is going to be removed. Okay, we're just going to have the outside part, and we're going to want it to frame our image of the boy. So I'm just kind of placing it here where I think it should be, and you'll notice it's not in the middle of the page. That doesn't matter to me. You can see that the little hand and the bird nest is going to be cut off. Okay, and I kind of want his face to be in the middle here, so we're just flipping it up to look, and I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to come this way a little bit. All right, okay, now this frame is going to be on this page, so it will be this direction. Okay, the right side is up, and if I were to turn the page, the right side would be up. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, you're going to be scared maybe, is I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the middle part of the frame. Remember, we're going to cut this out so it won't stay there, and I'm gluing it to this page, but that part of the page is also going to get cut away, so this doesn't hurt anything. And I'm going to go ahead and just hold that carefully and close the page. All right, so now we have our frame glued to this side of the page. All right, now we want to be able to cut that frame out, and I can kind of see through the paper, but I wouldn't want to do it that way. So we're going to do a little trick, and if you have a long reach punch of some sort, it will come in very handy for this. If you don't have one, that is okay. I will show you another way to do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, this is just a little smaller cutting mat. If you don't have a smaller cutting mat, you can put a piece of mat board or whatever you might have underneath there. Okay, and actually I'm not really going to do anything quite with it yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to punch a hole in this, and then I'm also going to cut a hole in case you don't have a hole punch like this, so that you can see how to do it both ways. All right, so I'm going to come in here with this long reach punch, and I'm going to punch a hole out of the middle of that frame. Okay, so now I have a hole that goes all the way through both layers of the paper. Okay, if you don't have the punch, then we're going to do a shape, and in some ways that's even better, because your shape will be not perfectly round. Your shape will be a square or a diamond or whatever you choose. So I'm just going to come in here like this and cut a funky diamond shape. Okay, all right, and then take that out. Okay, and now we have that weird hole and this. Okay, now we're going to carefully remove this frame. So I probably put more glue on there than I needed to, but I'm just going to carefully peel it back off. So you can just see just a few dots of glue would have helped. I just needed it to hold while I put those shapes in there. Okay. All right, and now I can take and turn my page back over, turn this over, match it up with the shapes underneath, and then I can glue out or cut out the middle of both sides. Okay, so now I am going to glue this down all around the edge, get that frame part glued down, and the middle part, it can be glued too. It doesn't hurt anything. It's gonna, again, the middle is going to get cut out. Okay. So I'm just going to come around like this. You don't have to worry about like getting right around your shapes or anything. That's not important. All right. All right, now we're just going to line those shapes up so they match up perfectly. And glue it down. All right. So now we have our frame on the right side, and we've got these weird little holes in there. Now we're going to take our cutting mat, and we're going to put it underneath here. And now you can come in here with scissors if you want to, because you've got your holes. So if you're a scissors person, you can come in like this and use your scissors. I'm going to use a knife, and I'm going to just cut right along that edge. I'm going to cut just a little bit inside of it. And my tip for doing straight lines with your knife is to put your knife down where you want it to be, and then you just pull your whole arm straight down. I'm not moving my wrist at all. I am just moving my whole arm down. Okay, we'll turn this way, and we'll get these two edges cut. And here. And voila. Now hang on to this, okay? All right, and there we go. Now we have our sweet little window, and we can see our little boy. I love it so much. Isn't it cute? Okay. Now, the reason I said to hold on to this is because if you would like to put some kind of a frame on this side, and I did grab this, just a map. I just cut a piece out of a map. Because then you can also put something here so that when you turn this page, something else is framed over here, okay? So you can use this as your template. Remember, that was cut out from here. So if we center this on here and cut right around it, it will match up with the hole we have there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down again because it's all going to get cut out. And I'm going to center it where I want it on this map. Try to do a good job here. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay. And then I'm just going to very carefully cut right along that edge. Now you could do the little fussy cut trick that I showed you, and you could cut right in with your scissors and cut all the way around, because even though you might have cut this all the way out to the outside, you're going to glue that down onto the page, so it won't matter. So you could do that too. Again, if you're not comfortable with the knife, you can definitely use your scissors. It will work just fine. Right, there we have it. And then that's just going to get glued right on there like that. And then, won't it be a surprise to find out what I put on that other page to show? So that's all I'm doing today, guys, but I hope that you had a good weekend. I sure did. I hope you enjoyed the weather. We had a beautiful Michigan, beautiful summer weekend, and I hope you are enjoying your time, having a little time to be creative and enjoy the outdoors as well. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.